Come, where the moonlight dares not to creep roasts around, velvet gloom, air sweet, ghostly sleep, this time decayed with a rich perfume. Your mortal lover never know me so, nor stilled in the storm, but beneath the skin. Your breath upon the trembling of the soul, for the bitters, the fever grow thin. You can find it draw me to your tender cord of this every wound. Forget to ache. Your darkness whispers the lullabies that are just all for the mercy's sake. Whispers bloom for the day that's died, a dark garden, drenched in the obsidian light for this every soul fractured by the deep festering of the wound. You hold on to the pieces together for the keep me from the impending doom. You take me to the dark and heartbeat with my breath, velvet fingers, trace stars along the skin for the bracing of the world, forget the chaos. And I'm undone for the whole thing. Moon drips across its crawl, face of this fire to find the warming of the hollow of the chest, of the shadows that won't be against the gentle grace. And all the rest is aches to find rest. And your arms dissolve into the shadow for each heartbreak. Heartbeat, slow sacred. Hymns in the night, alive and thriving, and hope be close and not endless in the hush of the soul fires. And the ink of desire. You fall in love with the words of the brushing over the skin, for the natural tracing over your courage and desire. And that was the right word to admit behind. For the dreams and the heart for the holding on. And the life that almost convinced me to let it go, for this is the kind of dream for the one that visits the midnight for this attainment. I'm gonna be, and shall to be tamed, for the never the act of shame or the blame that you have the legacy within, for the names of whose are finally guided for thus fell before the finish lines of sorrow. If I'm cruel or blind and cannot see the light, the beauty must be carved for the special ways that serve the hard to hold it. When I'm the rule for the stories for the be told, prosperous for the river to be less dangerous, for the world to be a building and until the next level. And sleep now for the weary truth that rises against the wind, for the sing comfort to you for the tomorrow I will forget. When my mind wakes up empty, for the name slips through the fingers that the water can't hold, but the memory does. The lonely man's thought for the try to love, to not avail, the bold for the find to watch much sorrow for the where I dwell. And the mystery is not to be solved, for the moments that sip in the shadows of dust of the unseen, for the yet shape of the night, for the universe whispers and riddles. And I can find a soul the note for the ends of song, for the binding of the vision for another's frame. Stars shine in countless patterns, and the mystery is not to be solved, but lived and breathed like light. Meet me again. The pain was that I wanted to be loved and can't be met with the abuse of this one to be held and not want to be, not neglected for the wanted to be was to be, for this to find a favorite part, for there's always the hide between us two. We need to confide. In the Empty echoes answers when I call the name for the silence to hold the truth of what it burns with. Honest flame but no sugar words of the comfort for no hand upon the back of the coat, indifference of the shining upon the well-worn track. I rather feel it nodding and bidding about it. Your solitary tear for the hollow, for the laughter, for the drowning in the shallow chair. Glide a cage of suffocating their perfume, silky snare. Crave the wild, untamed freedom for the this will be the breathing and open air for the salt. So let me wander lonely enough for the true stars gleam. The feeling in the falsehood of the half-forgotten dream for the death of the final curtain for the Elisa providing a release. The constant shadow for the adjustments and the counterfeit peace. And the lonely death of the Solomon choice of disquiet a fading sign. But born upon the pure conviction that beneath the iron sky for the race of fate to find out living for the nothing less. Guided lying, all the weight and refuse. And the beauty and isolation for the quiet gives my life this space, this empty but the endless and lifted through the thoughts and echoes of the tender sign to find a piece of this isolation on this window cage. And the words might fall, might be left unsaid. A perfect rhyme like a distant star. Left with the echoes near and far. Empty page and staring in the eye, but the inspiration passed me by for the right, the truth, the love against the pain, for it would all down in vain. I shared a soul for the raw and deeper than finding a no one wants to keep. Myself for this quiet voice to call the wisdom, for the learn that doesn't shout. The wear the crown for the calling attention for the itself and the wisdom and quiet. Phenomenal. The power of presence, and to say the beauty was in the face and the sick litter of the glow, for the told me it was a quiet confidence. Turn your pain into the power for the speechless and to pull you down for the confusing for the make you feel small again for the sometimes you're even angry or not to hate ordinary with attention but it didn't do anything extraordinary for her to sit around the house and wishing you were the echoes of you for this to feel lifetime online for this too soon for that it would still be here but if you could be in the sky but at night but a dance the hardest fool.
Say sorry.
Things I won't. The missing me, the residual thoughts of this idealized and it's a short lived for the 50 minutes in heaven I can find a burn to be free. Stay there, lie down for the tunnel for the tomb. Oh, conversation, kind of quiet place. This ghost in your hands be a lie, collapse, this thunder, whether this false and cinematic. Swelling in the violin, the cradle of the movement, but the knees are hitting the top. A father for the divine, you a dream. Curiosity for the here it is with me. Like the dust of the wind, filling up the spirit for the liquid gold, and often dust of hunger, the sun for this. What if it's given the shadow for the knife that you wanted to be hope we love? Nothing lasts forever, meaningless in this value for the type of the human form, for the seed, the silence, and the stalk, the yellow corn, for the if you find light, with us every day. Honor rather than the wealth of the stories to tell, the for the lies to sell, the supported for the unseen energy. The images of this imagination, man's mind, for the spirit of, and you can find Anti. intelligence for the bathing over the make room over the ancestor spirits, and this to be the avenue for the longer staying the pain. Seen and not seen the spirit that falleth further over the rolling off the sea for the rolling of stone, over the latch the key for the onyx and the terminal. Absorbing in philosophy for the gatekeeping the words, the lyrics, and the muse of this liars, unburied but seen. Remembering unto the rage and the creativity for the washed up into the sea for the shores, and just to find out surely ever the lady to make the waters way. Farther away, I go. Delay. Stay here enough flow, this calm, this leaves outside of it, but the living in the society golden all. And the thoughtless whisper for the without you no longer dream, but the pretty for the brain, but wrapped into the business of the without you are a star for the bone, but the deserving in the morning isn't like I find this to be the exodus. Pen shaped to the distant light for what the dance and the stars when I find the blue to strength the light for this the blue stars drowning in the frost. Who needs to dance with the stars when my feet draped to the tire to come out for the utility for the night for the draw the moon for the sipping the sun the gave the allotted for the time to start the earth revolving. Watch how the humanity progressively evolves just to take the empowerment of the things and this feeling you're better than you existed of you can slowly burn. Watching the face melt for the too close, being glued too close to fame for this flame, this satellite for to take the slow drift down. Death beyond the nexus of it is leaning back. Invisible wall for the open over the need for the private urine over the for the rain turn. This in the middle with the nothing and the everlasting flattening over the city. You ask me the question, expect me to respond for the time limit, so you have the mistaken entitlement for the strength for the when they give the be. Soul, mind, and out to find it vibrate over the use and cosmic force for you hand tested ability for the breathing over your vacuum, the grasp over your dear life. Sure that for the just illusion for the powered abilities for the removing of the grasp of the humans who were like humanities in their time. Venus came to unable to breathe the poison for the with the higher for the forms of humanity for the you can sense the lips and over the going. Picking up a sword for the shield, learning some word. That's your skill, time, space. Residual thoughts of this idealizing that's a short lived for the 50 minutes of heaven. I can fire the bird to be free. Stay the light down for the kind of the two. Oh, conversation, kind of quiet place. This ghost in the hands, be alive, collapse, this thunder with this false and cinematic. Sweating in the violin, the cradle for the movement, with the knees are hitting the top. Follow for the divine, the dream. Curiosity for the here it is with me. Dust of the rain filling up the spirit of the liquid gold and often dust of hunger the sun for this. What if it's given a shadow for the knife that you wanted to be hope we love? Nothing lasts forever meaningless in this value for the type of the human form, for the seed, the silence of the stalk, the yellow corn for the if you find light when it's ever dim. Honor than the wealth for the stories to tell, that if the lives to sell the support of humanity energy. And just this imagination, man's mind, for the spirit out you can find and intelligence for the bathing for the make for the ancestral spirits and this for the seen and not seen the spirit that falleth further over the rolling off the sea for the rolling of song over the latch to key for the onyx and the terminal. Absorbing in philosophy for the gatekeeping the words and lyrics and the muse of this liars, unburied but seen. Remembering unto the rage and the creativity for the washed up into the sea for the shores and just to find it, but surely ever the lady to make the waters wait. Farther away, I go. Delay. Stay here enough floats, calm this, leaves outside of it, but the living in the society golden all. Thoughtless whisper for the without you no longer dream with the pretty for the brain, wrapped into the business that without you are a star for the bone, deserving in the moment is like find this in the exodus. Pen shaped to the distant light for what the dance and the stars when I find the blue to strength the light for this the blue stars drowning in the frost. Who needs to dance with the stars when my feet draped to the tire to come off for the utility for the night for the draw the moon for the sipping the sun the gave the water for the time to start the earth. Watch how humanity progressively evolves just to take the power of the things that is feeling better than you exist that you can slowly burn. Watching the face melt for the too close, too close to fame for this flame, this satellite to take this new drift down. Death beyond the nexus of it is leaning back. Invisible wall for the open over the need for the private urine over the roof for the rain turn. This in the middle of the nothing and the everlasting planning of the city. Practice slept in the trees of this tumult for the bunk open your car self, discharging of our lands, which are the planets of this and the hours of the path to quiet break up. We saw the black fox in the rain today for this to serve the world. Trapped house struggling to breathe this darkness and this already blame on the rain. Last time to find a guest to blame on my hand for this even sorry for yours. This is the catastrophe for the realize how loved I was. This is the fair for the moment to feel the chosen and for the sacred secret of this risk to be life to keep. Lay next to me. Can you reach your own? To arrive in closest and easier to the path. Just did I choose consciously to make another room with me. Conversions of the wrestling and the pyramid for the dreams like filled with the reeds of this and be the feeling and alignment for this and be the spite. Sleep the scare. Shadows and shaking and bothered. Risen of the building of rights and reasons. Cling up to the yetness. Loss of power for the control of the grip. This breaking off the hazards of the hope to him. To rolling of the thunder for the lightning of the tent. Leaving your wonder for the audacious grin. Remember not with love for this doubts the call for this to bloat it over the rotten thing to behold over the turning of the pages turning to empty. Brief sensation of society, anxiety for this society, worth the risk of this house, fire for this from the inside for the desperate of the void for this supply. Ways of being known for the forgetting until you're down and left it with the always wrong for this to brief that couldn't be for this. Have any idea for the never going back to this and lay at the bottom for the watching the last like this, which better like the love. Caretakers for the care for the love of the world of heart.
Timestamp. Find relevance of the broken, bend the me for the break. Destroyed every part of me, the good, hope, and break.
The timestamp. Find relevance of the broken, bend the me for the break. Destroyed every part of me, the good, hope, and break shape. And what's the bitterness and not the quality for the one chose? To manifest after defeat for the bitterness only makes that man for this consume one monetary feeling to become obsolete, disused. The moments in the eyes meet the love of this life and this to be the burning around. And then for the pale and the compensation for your comparison to the fire, but igniting together. So who am I for the who to know anymore for each? Divided out of time for the final occupied the mind for can't sit still. Thoughts run wild and forget all you know for the who you think you are, for everything is made out of it. It's gone. Like watching over the snowfall mountains and never flaking another person's who's once met for the same two perfectly falling snowflakes this one another for the not the same. For the symmetry for the love for the one to be such sweet bliss of the running through golden grain fields for the innocence of a child, for the capable of the falling in the love of the sight is the reality for the eventually for that you can look back into the pinpoint. Scorn to the new. The ground reminds of the heart not yet. perfectly untouched for the destruction of the emotion of pain, and this is the peace in deeds. I've been in the peace for years restlessly, for this has been the time of the dark to watch all the eyes blasphemy of the freedom for this to be. Watch the ocean fleet. Fret for nothing, know the wind for the battle ready for you. You can have the land hush this hour for the deep wild. Smile to smell the daisies of the bringing it over your thought for the feeling of flying full, like petals of the speckled over your thought. Far away for the beam, far away for the beat. You listen to me for the better than anyone ever has. This and then for the something familiar, but you can at the same time. The world will show you things are everything. Says to give up, but just another day for the disrespect. Not to understand, for the try to explain yourself if that's the mean thing. Brighter look in your eyes at the scene of fire for the flame. Brighter passion to burn, imperfect for the look at the glance of this in between. Or anything and everything in between for the random thoughts of this to define the day that we can't forget, for the can't receive. Rank create for the natural unforced, this random, imperfect. Ways we are. Faceless at the time for the place that we felt. Myself we never felt before. Pace, walk with you, seen the point. Walk the light together for the we were in different places and paths. This need not to laugh at the wished out. Then go around in the mountains, whatever to say they're for the grief of them. Whenever over your grizzly country, over your colors and perfect enough to paint. Brushes the shade for the rainbow scattered over your sky. And it was a turning over the thoughts of myself for the cliff and over your half that completely over your truly and never knew. I was there for the just to be the taste of which you find the ribbonness over you. Was to break the heart point for this palate. Counsel to the hearts is because that only fact. The hearts to melt and fade eventually. Silence whisper softly. Dreams inside is still.
Dance. Stay for a day. Crave silence. I know I needed it before. Kneel, the rugged heart and the tarnished bronze hangs heavy for the belt. The bones of the just clapper swings fall, encasing the dreams of the rusted blood. Idle row for the turning into something but need to be hopeful. Equal parts of you hated the love and the equal. Darkness at the ends where the daylight starts destructing the warmth and connect the eyes to those days of the whole summer skies. Your pupils filled with pain for the gathered clouds, heavy rain with the witch above the stormy gates, witch houses smiled in warmer days. Hearts beating at your core hold depth beyond the deepest floor holds. Oceanic surface hides the violence of the taking the lives and it takes again forever for the feeding your fed, and over the sinking along your bed for the eternally enraptured for those sunny days beyond the tide. You may want to try to choose your own salvation. Try to figure out another way for the change of your destiny with someone else. You may have that trying to figure out another way to escape the horrible demise for. Realize your repentance and might have been an answer for your salvation again. You must touch the lobes of the hair, for the back of the head, for the sun, for the lobes of the anointing, for the people to find again. The solution for you and the major problems within the hand of the enemy. For your savior, for the again and that. You must try to confess that this is one. Reaching at the highest level for your potential for the within the world to find again. In the mirror, it smiles. I took the head to think. Wait, I paused before the blink. It was reminded of the younger days that it reflected the smallest ways in the mirror. The smiles with the disguise of the softness I'm born from. Sharper eyes, though I know where the should. The face that keeps me hiding inside me. In the owl of the stars, in the snowy night, for the stars are bright enough for the moon to shine through the trees, and awaken for the night, it's still the day, for the day is the night, for this in the clouds, for the lightest fly of the feather, for the almost invisible slightly. Carry soft along the way for the fountain, the quiet stir, for the moonlight will over them, but the silver stare for the fleeting and weeks of the beyond the boundless sky, for this is now the reason why. No sorrow here for no bitter infant, no need to please it. Hard to bend for the time to unthread for the what's became, for the just sins and grace. This keep no name for the winds and no across the sea, for the laughter that moves and set it free, for the not the lost hold to held over the bound to save for the carry the soft along the way. And in the times of greater peace, it sees the green grass and the other side of it in between. Listen, you seem to be pleasure here for the day, for the humorous and get for the promotion of the thoughts that you can pure. Struggle over the agony for the mood you have to create a silence over me. Tapper swings and fells in distant case of dreams, and this is all. Idle rather never the need to be hopefully for the equal person struck by the connecting eyes of this one, the hope and hold the summer skies and the one to choose in your own. Carry soft a long way, silver stair fleet weeks about the sky, but this is the reason why. And the pollen over the bright wings and the parted over the degree, for the defy for the winds and catastrophic over the it could be the frozen footsteps. This is heaven, it's in the grief. Echoes of something beautiful stretched just the final. He's felt endless for the love, it is something to hope for. The simply is no wait for this to tell it for no need to stay. It's fate unravels something won't more. Just let you slip into the gentle till the seams sinking over your thirsty earth. This is the wind that carries your name for the here and now. Now it's a loss. But it's a whisper of something beautiful, drifting, lingering, still real for the fate that shifted this. I won't resist to this, I love you anyway. The cast the words left behind, and he is not friendly as that ghost just say in between. For the yet to play for the same team, for the unseen. Memories of the weave of the mind for this, the eyes for this, the morning and the eyes meet the mind for this, doesn't know. Is missing in the Nova saw her again for the despite the burning notes, and this is saying her name moving on for the matter matters for the weather it is for the memory for the what it was this running rolling with a lost expression for the lost trial for the circling and the dive for the rolling in the eye for the something that keeps the blanket tight for the rolling of the no wonder for the getting up it seems so much suffocating for the summer is here. A mantis cannot get the taste of the dearest of the memory for the saying in New War I find waking up to the same. It's not the same. But the weight that not brought you back for this to come through the wishing for the forget your presence, and I wish that I didn't have to wish for the allowing you to share myself again for the mind, for the not giving you opinion, for the think of love, for the beer, for the bear, for the only the seer, for the only the one that soul, for this love, the question for the have, the hold, the love, for the all, for the will, the happiness, is to didn't find the love. But it wasn't, doesn't feel like for the moment before, for the feel like the silence of the war, for the not peace, for the silence of the
Seems like a savior with no sanctuary, trying to save everyone, but nobody can save me. For the only one that called the world is burning, and for the yet the mind is turned to ashes, for the choking alone, for the smoke of this is blessed. I bleed the comfort for the broken poems, but no one notices the cuts of mine for the right. The poems are disguised, for the pretending of the found happiness, for the pretending the piece of something you'll never tasted. Dress of pain and metaphors for the hoping this the world is seeing how but become. Hoping I could fool myself long enough for the forgetting of what the real joy feels like inside, for the unraveling quietly, for the just struggling, confused, and losing pieces of myself, for the corners of the mind, for the hope to slip through the fingers like the water, for the too tired to beat the hands anymore. And if my head was replaying the last time you laughed and cracked through something open in me, for the falling it easy, for the make me feel like breathing again, for the dew to show up in the moment that you could wheel. And maybe I shouldn't say this with the side that you asked this and already here, for this would be the sense you text this from the warning in my mind, for the thinking about, for the before the reaching, or for the thinking about, for the harder now. Your name lit up my voice, and for the detective, for the better, for now, for the deserve, for the going with the self-conscious school. And what it was over and for the nothing, for the truth to beat heavy in my chest. Still, breathe, slow, quietly, burn, refuse to leave. This act for the carving the self for the bones, and I never had the strength to fight back for the nights alone, for the memories that press me on my heavier, but they're never the falling that makes me. And it hurts. Lord, it hurts too. Remember the battles and the falling silence of the remember the tears and the sorrow over the wonder over the break me for the storm, the rages over the small separate flame for the spirit that refused to die, for this voice that whispered for the you're still here. That remind me of the desperate wounds of this storm, the nights and this felt like a shadow for myself. The rain against the glass sitting here, staring out the window for the rain from the wind, where to go for the trying to speak for the parts of me for the buried in age and dislocated, for the outside to feel the distant for the blurring of the storm. Or the finding the breathing over the feeling, the way for the yesterday, for the curling itself, for the round the chest, and listen to everything that rises and realize it every time they want the men to break me. I am quiet, there's strength in the room, for the hooper that turns to the hoop is consumed, for the guy doesn't know whether to still believe in love. And to the who, the one, the healing, for the even that hurts, and this is the one, the whose story it is, being written for the ink and made the tears of the triumph, for the founding, the back, the win, the one day, for the ever, the born, the faint, the fire, for the managing over the bittering of their own life. The business of the scars, the dream to the youth, and the guide and the youth, for the never to feel the same, for the storm, for the proof, for this, the find the broken, for the stay broken, over the choosing, the purpose, and the battlefield, for the bury me, for the drag me under, for the slow swing and the climb. Never the nine, for the find the quiet strength, for the room, for the never the what to consume, for the pain and the guidance, and never to still believe in love. And I whisper your name into the family, you and your drowning you for the end of the kept alive. But didn't you pray for me while they're refusing to quit? And swallow for the whole of Christ and for them, but the truth of me that made it bad. And without the love itself, at this sometimes the grumpy won't you lie. But I found a way, there's something for the hold on to, or you can remember it, man. It tasted like love anyway. And I think of you, I think of her, I think of the moment that you could have, you love. In a warm, cold world, without everything, you can be tired enough to be struggling over the sweetness of the universe. And it's all for the wandering deep into the tangles and emotional being, for the trapped into the thickness and the mistrust, for the smothering of your layers it doesn't bake upon the heart. And I want to shine from the light of the darkness, and would you come for the demons to frighten me away for this, beg me to stay for the between, hallucination of the word for the letters, the swirling and the never the swallow by night for the restless, and the burning of the high for the calm of the wild roses. And now I wish this prayer would carry me far away for the whisper to take me with you. But you take your fake smile for the wild, the smile back for the tempted, for the deception, for the you tell me for the just tired, and never the bound, the broke broken, for the setting in, for your beautiful face of the virus blue, for the sober you. And telling you, but not I believe in the for the something, for the anymore, for the anything, for the too many times, and look at you for this pain, for the you make me fake a smile this way, and the tempted this way to tell me it's just can't. Quiet plea, dancing on the bottom lip for the too afraid to speak up, too afraid to be heard, just because for the too afraid to be hurt, for the one to take you, for the wandering up in my arms and to hold you tight.